Hello and welcome to part 2 where I transformed this notebook into my very first journal. My name is Nicole, but you can refer to me as Nevst. This part will be all about featuring my favorite nail polish shades to date. As shown earlier in part 1, I sketch out my concepts in Procreate before proceeding to draw on paper. Working digitally means I don't have to commit to an idea too soon. I can keep refining by adjusting elements. I'm already much more satisfied with this header drawing compared to what I drew for my backstory pages. The illustration behind the text is much clearer. To showcase my favorite shades in my notebook, I'll be using small paper squares with heart-shaped cutouts, allowing the polish to peek through. The polish itself will be painted on a mylar sheet, which I'll cut to size before gluing it behind the cutouts. I chose mylar because it's flexible, easy to cut, and won't wrinkle like paper. Plus, its thin properties will help keep my notebook from getting too bulky. Now that the layout is set, I'm ready to share with you my favorite nail polishes. Solar Unicorn Skin, Mint Money, Trophy Life, Coral Chaser, Never Tied Down, Low Key Blushing, and Emerald City. Given the page's size, I'll only be able to fit 3 to 4 shades at a time, which meant I had to be more selective of which shades to feature. I want to reiterate that I write my entries in a digital document beforehand because my thoughts tend to be scattered and unstructured. This helps me avoid forgetting key points or going in circles. allowing me to refine my writing for better clarity and cohesion. Solar Unicorn Skin, the topper that turns any shade into a fire opal due to the combination of its orange hue and its secondary hue, green. Out of all gemstones, opal is my absolute favorite. For the past few years, I've been drawn to light desaturated greens, so I've been drawn to mint money specifically for its color, but I only decided to buy it after hearing how stunning frosted metals look in real life. To me, this shade symbolizes early spring so perfectly, when there's still snow but the promise of greenery is just around the corner. This is my favorite frosted metal so far. It combines the perfect color with intense sparkle. Darker frosted metals just don't have the same wow factor as light shades do. Now, Trophy Life is one of Holo worst sellers, and part of me feels that most people haven't given this polish a proper chance. I promise you that you will be blown away if you were to step outside on an overcast day. This polish will look like as if it's radiating light. No other polish comes close to being this bright. You'd have to be in an open area to get the full effect, of course, because this polish reflects its surroundings. Now, I can appreciate reds, but it's far from being my favorite color. That said, Coral Chaser is one of my favorite polishes because it suits my skin tone perfectly. It doesn't clash at all, and the added rainbow flare makes it more beautiful. I first wore this shade when I was going through my collection for more neutral looking shades. I was preparing for potential job interviews at the time. After finishing this page, I went back and retouched the squares off camera. I think it looks better this way, and look how glowy Trophy Life is. This is what you're missing out on if you skip this shade. Never Tied Down, one of Holo's most mesmerizing shades. It's so bright and multifaceted, the color stands out against anything in my day-to-day life. If you're not into your nails getting a lot of attention, then I'd say you should avoid this shade. I remember one time when I was working in retail, a lady asked for assistance, but then was fixated on staring at my hands. I felt so self-conscious. I'll never know if she found it pretty or if she found it gaudy. Low-key blushing is tonally similar to Coral Chaser, so naturally it would be one of my favorites. But only when it's matte. The matte top coat tends to ever so slightly adjust the hue. Having lengthy nails on average, it makes them look like lipstick. Now while I'm editing this video, Holo has already released their cottagecore collection. One of their shades, Nip in the Bud, might be a close contender for the same reason. I'll have to test out that shade to find out if a lighter tone of this color range will suit me just as well. Emerald City is a cool leaning dark green polish. To me, this color has always been incredibly indulgent, as I associate it with luxury. It's not bold or flashy, yet it's very lush. The darkening of the bright green iridescent flakes adds so much depth, it's easy to get captivated in this sea of green. This actually was the perfect winter shade for me this year as it matches my winter coat. As you're able to see, all these polishes are from Holo, and there's a reason for that. Dedicating myself to a single brand allows me to manage my expenses better, as the releases follow a predictable timeline. If I were to buy 3 to 4 collections each month from various brands, let's face it, I would go broke. And as I've mentioned before, my intention is to go through my shades at least once. That would be practically impossible if I were to buy from several brands, unless each finger was painted in an individual shade or used in complex nail art, which is not something I do on a regular basis. But that is not to say that I haven't purchased polish elsewhere since starting this hobby. I am just more selective in the shades I buy, and only cave in when I feel like it's not a formula Holo will make anytime soon. This is especially true for jelly polishes, as I feel like the expectation established by Holo is that their polishes are fully opaque in 2 to 3 coats. As the customer base grew around these expectations, it seems there is a hesitation to release sheerer polishes. As you can see here, I have space for one more shade, and I know just the one. Last but not least is Fairy Dust from ILNP. Along with their Overcast collection, this is the first boutique polish I bought outside of Holo. I was craving for sheer polishes, as I personally enjoy seeing my nail line. It's like a testament to my efforts in taking care of my nails. I am a huge fan of the purple jelly base in Fairy Dust. Before being heavily into cool greens, I absolutely love this specific tone of purple. It has this slight blue tinge to it, but then that coolness is juxtaposed with the intense warmth coming from the shimmer. So we have reached the end of part 2. Next part will be dedicated towards my custom mixes, which, disclaimer, isn't many. I want to thank you for sticking around and hope you come back later. Bye!